Hi, I'm Brandon with Dwell Mortgage.
And I'm Jeff with John L. Scott.
And this is Homes and Loans.
We're excited to be here with you again. And one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, Jeff, I'm glad you came in today.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
HOA dues, aka Homeowners Association dues.
Yes.
What does that mean? When do you see them? Is it something you see frequently? And is it something, how should we think about it?
A lot of good questions.
I know. Probably too many.
Yeah, probably. But we'll break it down. So they're very frequent in condos.
Okay.
So most times people associate HOAs with condos. A lot of that has to do with everybody sharing the same building in a traditional condo.
Okay.
So there will be rules, CC&Rs that kind of govern what you can and can't do with the unit.
Yeah.
Now often in a condo, those HOA dues are going to include maybe water, sewer, garbage,
Some
or
utilities
like
or something.
or a common area that people get to hang out in and play at whatever.
Okay.
So every condo is going to be unique. All HOAs are going to be different. And then some single family neighborhoods even have HOAs. Yes.
It's getting crazy out there.
Yeah, definitely. Now those HOAs typically might only include front yard maintenance, maybe. But most often they'll govern what color you can paint your house. You can't paint it bright pink or baby puke green, that kind of thing.
So what you're saying then is when you're part of a homeowners association, there is a group of decision makers. There's a board.
Yes.
That's what I've heard,
yeah,
right?
The homeowners elect the board.
Yeah, we have a homeowners association in our neighborhood, and there's a board, and they make decisions to govern the neighborhood.
Yes.
Basically, which is where what color can you paint your house comes into play. You got a set of rules, and the purpose of the HOA dues then is to cover expenses.
Yep.
Right, that they would otherwise incur for
either street maintenance or So a lot. I mean, every HOA is unique.
Like maybe if you have a gate.
Yeah.
Like one of those motorized gates. I mean, those can't be cheap, right? And if you need to have them serviced, you got to have a budget or some reserves to pay for that. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Good information.
So when you're looking for a home and it says it's got an HOA, always look for the dues and then due amount, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, and then what is included in that HOA.
Okay. Be aware of those things.
Yes, exactly.
Now, one thing that just popped into my head, Jeff, is, and I've seen it, special assessments.
Ooh, yes.
What's all that all about?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
So special assessments can come due in, say, a condo when a roof needs to be replaced.
Okay, so a big project.
A big project, yes. And then that cost will get levied and spread against every homeowner within that condo building. Now, this is why you need to be really careful and review all your HOA documents before purchasing. A properly run, managed HOA that has a really well-funded reserve will do a much better job at preventing one of those large charges from coming up than a special assessment, which you don't want to pay for as an incoming new homeowner.
It's kind of one of those things, it's largely out of your control once you already own the unit, because things happen. But if you're on the prowl and you're out there as a buyer, you can know these things beforehand so that you can set yourself up for success. That's good info.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Jeff.
Nothing's worse than buying a nice new condo and then you have a $10,000 charge you got to pay off right away.
Yeah, right. And then so do they split that out over, like on a monthly basis?
It all depends on the situation. It could be one large sum right up front.
Really? So just pay attention and work with an expert.
Make sure you're doing your due diligence for sure.
Okay.
So
cool.
On that note, a lot of times I get asked by my buyers, how does the HOA affect my purchasing power?
So you're going to flip it on to me now.
I'm flipping it on you now.
Should have known this was going to happen. So
I've talked enough.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, Jeff explained well what HOA dues are, and it's a monthly fixed amount typically, unless it needs to be adjusted because of whatever happens in the HOA needs to be taken into consideration. If there's a project or something, your HOA dues could potentially change. But during the home buying process, the HOA dues are considered a housing expense.
Yes.
So it's part of your monthly payment, just like the principal and interest portion of your loan is, your property taxes, your homeowner's insurance, your HOA dues are part of those. What are there, 5 of them?
Yeah.
PITIA is the acronym that you'll see out there when you Google it, and that's property, principal and interest, taxes, insurance, and assessments. Okay.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's factored in to the total monthly housing payment, which is then a major component of what you can qualify for as a home buyer.
Wow.
Because remember, your monthly payment and whatever other debt payments you have as a percentage of your income is how you qualify for a home. And we can dive into that more later, but that's the role that HOA dues play in qualifying for financing.
So if we're shopping in a single family home and it's 30 or 50 bucks a month, probably don't have to be too concerned
you don't
about
need to
our
get too crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends situation to situation. Where people find themselves in hot water is where they're kind of at the upper end of their budget.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the HOA dues, they were planning on them for a condo, for example. They were planning that they would be around $350 to $400.
Yeah.
And they find the condo they have to have, and it's $650.
Ooh.
I mean, that's a $200 jump in monthly payment.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of several thousands of dollars more in purchase price.
Okay.
That's a lot of money. Like
Yeah.
$200 spread over 30 years could equate to a much larger purchase price. So you just have to be cognizant of what those HOA dues look like, what do they entail, just everything that you said, Jeff. Like, there's a benefit there and there's a reason you're paying that cost, but is that what you want and do you understand it?
Yeah.
Is what I would
exactly.
caution people to be aware of.
Okay.
I'm Brandon with Dwell Mortgage.
I'm Jeff with John L. Scott, and we'll
See you next time.